Oh
size
no,
of the government
no,
at
don't
risk of
play again.
deportation,
Just
he's right.
just go back,
I don't
back.
think they're going to get away with this. I think they are far too unpopular.
Yeah.
I'll just say it like this. I think they are far too unpopular to try
Must
to
change my suit.
unleash an agenda like this. And no, you might get mad at me for saying this, but I do not believe that Americans are this racist, or at least enough Americans are this racist. Okay? Are there
It's hard to see
Americans
the
that are
pattern,
this
but
racist?
it is there.
Yes, absolutely. There are. But look to how quickly people snap back to reality when the mass deportation initiatives came to their neighborhoods. Okay? You have to do what do I always say? Americans are too disorganized and too invested in their creeds to actually be a part of a serious, disciplined fascist movement. Then you need to do reading to get to that level of racism. Okay? They're just like normal races for the most part. The average American might have values that resemble the neo-Nazi in another country, but they're not well read enough to act out on those ambitions. They're not disciplined enough.
Hell
They don't
yeah,
care
you look
enough.
fancy right
You do
now.
not have a mass,
Everybody's gonna be so
ideologically
jealous of
committed
us and how
fascist
we're
movement
dressed
in this
up.
country. This is basically trying to. This is a statement by certain in
Okay,
the
I can
direction of a
qualify. Let's go.
mass, ideologically coherent, and ideologically organized, loyal movement that does not exist. Okay? If we had actually spent the first half of a year on fixing the underlying material inequities or something and offering some drugs that would obviously harm the interests of capital, and then he moved in this direction, we would be in this would be a far greater concern. Okay? We're not there,
I
and
messed
there
up.
is
So
no
I should
loyalty
be higher up
beyond
there.
a cult-like, beyond a cult-like level of support for Donald Trump from the base that is withering away. Okay? Yeah, Americans can still get a decent meal at Applebee's. They can enjoy the treats. They're not people who are PTSD-riddled World War I soldiers who experienced the same hyperinflation and are mad that like they're not getting their pensions even though there are plenty of people who are, PTSD addled methods, where by and large Americans are still, they're still outside of that. If you're a legal immigrant, you're still going to be legal immigrants. There's time for you to. It doesn't matter if you're a U.S. citizen. It doesn't matter if you were born here. No one is safe. This is the agenda of the far right. Yeah. The
This
Department
is
of
such a
Homeland
fun
Security also
level.
tells
Like,
us
wow, this is
the
fun.
stakes have never been higher. The goal has never been more clear. Remigration now. These guys are so stupid. Even though morally ambiguous, America might be better off with some sort of serious expulsion mechanism. The f are you talking about? One of the few redeeming qualities of the United States of America is the fact that immigrants have actually made this country the dominant power that it is, whether it be the fucking brain drain or whether it be the rich tapestry of cultures. It's so stupid. We got a couple things going for us, okay? Our diversity, our free speech, or at least that still obviously has limitations, but like the free speech that kind of exists, okay, and due process. And Donald Trump is trying to
Let's
bring
do
all
this.
three. It's so stupid, especially because there is no real problem here. You understand? Like, if there was, okay, I will say it like this. I will concede on this point. If there was a significant issue with migrants coming into the United States of America and actually doing harm, like killing people on the street, bringing up the vulnerable, trying to
Man, I'm so bad at that.
create gangs that are looking for white guys to rape and behead or whatever.
I'm not the only one though. Everybody dies on this level.
That's a little bit more reasonable in that situation. If that racist fantasy was reality,
15
then
people could
yeah, there
potentially
is
qualify.
a
But I
lot
don't think
more
15 will.
reason to unironically say, hey, we got to put these guys in jail. Some people can do it. Or maybe even dispose of them or remove these people from the American national boundaries. This is a significant burden. Okay? But that's not the case. That's not the case anywhere on the planet. Okay? Because this is not how humans are. Nobody conquers the United States of America, so they're like, oh yeah, land of opportunity, opportunity to do rapes. You know what I'm saying? That's not how this works. No, when people say, "Oh, I'm going to the land of opportunity," they mean like, "Oh, this country has far better material circumstances and presents a far better future for someone like myself, like Afghan Muslims." New York Times got State Department cable in which Rubio orders diplomats in Europe, Canada, Australia, and New Zealand to press for immigration on his next crime. They're also told to report to governments that are pro-immigration. That is the description of settlers who are
I think there's only like 6 people left at most.
Well, anyway, it's just so stupid. It's stupid because this doesn't actually solve.
Falling behind is not that much of a disadvantage.
The real issue, okay? It's just a made-up problem, and the more people refuse to solve the real problems, the more they lean into
Pretty
this
sure there's only like 6
made-up
people
problem.
left.
Okay, and here we are. I cannot believe it. I can't believe how psychotic this is. This is insane. The Trump administration is arresting the wives and husbands of U.S. citizens when they show up for their green card interviews, even though
What's
they
that, like
entered legally
5
and
people
voted
made
on
it
the
only.
record. So much for family values.
Wow.
Your columnist author, Elon is sharing this.
Freaking, that level's always a
You are
freaking
absolutely
massacre.
right in response to Donald Trump. This is a literal life or death issue. They will kill us all. Oh.
What?
This is what the hogs got out of that pose. Trump officially gave us the hogs.
I'm glad that I'm not following Elon Musk.
We're all just
I'm gonna block him. I'm glad for that.
It's like everything that the American government has done that's like awful and bad and cruel, we're just leaning into. Okay? Oh, the cruelty is what you want, right? People are like, no, we want affordability.
Only 3 will qualify.
We want affordability. And the administration goes, oh,
This will take us
you
into
mean
the
you
final
want more
round.
cruelty, more senseless cruelty, more murderers in Latin America, and more cruelty to your neighbors. That's what you mean, right? And it's like, no, we want affordability. He's like, nah.
This guy's a pro, I think.
We want more cruelty. That's what you
Well,
want.
but he might lose. He's falling behind. He's gonna lose. Can't believe this guy's gonna lose.
Whose daughter has Down syndrome says he's a no on redistricting, citing Trump's slur.
He's gonna catch up now.
On redistricting. I've been an unapologetic advocate for people with intellectual disabilities since the birth of my second daughter. Those of you that don't know me or my family might just know that my daughter has Down syndrome. It's not the first time a president uses insulting and derogatory references in his choice of words that have consequences. I will be voting no on redistricting. Perhaps he can use
That was
the next 10 months
awesome.
to convince voters that his policies and behavior deserve a congressional.
I thought Luck Fox was gonna win for sure.
This is the most terrifying racialized screed I've read in a while.
Yeah, that's crazy.
We'll say based. This is based. Who's gonna save America based? And many of their stupid bearded supporters will also go along with it. Meanwhile, holy based. Meanwhile,
Next year's, yeah.
material harm that they're experiencing is not being solved because of their ability to realize that Trump is actually doing this as a distraction for them. Okay? Everyone's a dumbass. Anyone that eats this goddamn bait is an absolute moron. Right?
This bear seems to know what he's doing. Then again, he was the first one to drop down to his level. But look, he's lasted longer on this level so far than at least one of the 2 guys that stayed up higher for longer.
Trump claimed most of the 53 million immigrants are on welfare, and the refugee burden is the leading cause of social dysfunction in America. Failed schools, high crime, urban decay, overcrowded hospitals, housing shortages, and large deficits. He claimed Somalis are taking over Minnesota and declared a pause to migration from all third world countries while vowing to denaturalize green card holders who aren't sufficiently loyal.
He's the first one down to the 3rd level.
Journal Constitution said the White House sees is the only thing he has to counteract all these concerns people are raising about why the approval levels are so low. They're worried about the cost of goods, safety, housing, healthcare. He's not addressing that directly. He said people's healthcare issues aren't being resolved with the crackdown to the southern border and the anti-immigration policies. Where have you heard that statement?
Why did he be the first one to drop down that way?
This is
You think he did that on purpose?
the way that the president and people in the administration, people like Stephen Miller, have been talking about immigration. One, President Trump in his remarks on Wednesday night brought up Somalia. That is not it. That is something that the president has been focused on recently, and he is emphasizing. You look at refugee policies where
All the way down there.
Wants to bring in white people people from South Africa who they say are being persecuted, they don't want to bring in other refugees. The refugee program has been severely restricted under the Trump administration.
It seems like he dropped down on purpose. It doesn't seem like a good move.
A terrible event that has given them a sort of a peg to do a lot of the things that they were already doing or wanted to. It does come a time when the
This guy's a real pro. This guy's also something of a pro. This guy also something of a pro. But for whatever reason, he dropped down on purpose, it seemed like.
That some of the other
The refugee issue. This is what he said. A couple of late night posts last night, right before the night, he put out these posts here on Thanksgiving night. He said this refugee burden is the leading cause of social dysfunction in America, something that did not exist after World War II. Failed schools, high crime, urban decay, overcrowded hospitals, housing shortages, and large deficits. This is
And now he's falling even
very
further.
Well, I like the way the camera put it. It is something they want to do with a long-term project. This immigration with 4 years it has.
He's above them. Wow.
Wants to transform the immigration system.
That's some pro play right there.
The immigration force is seen as deportation force, as they call them. They're doing more hiring right now to make that happen. They're trying to build the capacity for mass deportation because it wasn't there in the first term. You cover this. So many things that they're doing right now are taking the lessons the first term where they were skimming by a court, stopped by a court, going to a more favorable court this time. Appointed with you saw this with the Muslim ban applied for the decision of the president as a 6-3 comparative court. So they like their odds, but there is a long-term strategy here. What is the political risk for Trump? For Republicans, we already saw that Lee Brown with Asian American and even African American voters going to get New Jersey. Huge shift back away from the Republican Party. This is not the Republican agenda that won Dearborn, let's say, in the last election. This is more like what you wanted to do in the first place. And voters don't get to be the ones. It's going to be fought out in the courts in Congress. Look, final point I'll make is why would it be easier for some Afghans to get here? They cooperate with the Americans in the war. It was bipartisan vote of Congress. If you did that, the Allies had Matt Johnson voted for that. I don't think you're going to have any Republicans saying that's a good idea now. The Peter Millers of the party who already were controlling the narrative are going to control the politics.
He's facing death now. One more drop and it's over.
This would be said about the refugees from Somalia into the once great state of Minnesota. He said the Somali gang looking for trade. People are still lodging in apartments. He called the governor of Minnesota said, "Well, seriously, it's perfect." He went on to call John Omar, this congressman/woman.
What is happening? Are all three gonna win? Do they all three win when that happens?
yeah, a lot of that.
I think it's showing me one winner, but I think they all get a medal for this, probably.
A little bit of
Okay, so all I have to do is survive to the end and I'll win.
and I
I don't have to necessarily outlast the other two. I think.
that the best message that Donald Trump has right now is his immigration that's really the only thing that he has to counteract all the concerns people are raising.
It's a little bit comforting. Yay!
Did Trump just,